Think back a couple of months ago, once Nikki Haley dropped out of the presidential race. I sat right here and I told you that this is the worst thing imaginable for Donald Trump. Because even though Nikki Haley, of course, was way behind him, had no shot at winning, her still being in the race allowed news outlets to still talk about her and not devote 100% of their Republican coverage to Donald Trump. Because as soon as he gets 100% of the coverage, I told you at the time, he's going to start tanking in the polls. Well, we now have a couple months between when I predicted that and today, and guess what? That is exactly what has happened to Donald Trump. In the last 2 months, once he became the only Republican, once his criminal trial started, once we got that massive verdict from the New York judge Ingeron, everything went to hell for Donald Trump, and now for the first time in 6 months, President Biden is actually polling ahead of him in crucial swing states, including the state of Arizona from the latest poll. Now, to be fair, in Arizona, President Biden is actually beating Trump right now by less than 1%. So, within the margin of error, not that big of a deal, right? And if you look at the polling aggregates, it looks like Trump is still winning in Pennsylvania, in Michigan, in Ohio, in Georgia. So, why am I sitting here saying that everything is going badly for Donald Trump when he's still technically winning in most of these crucial swing states? Because we're not looking at the end result here. We're looking at trends. In every single one of those crucial swing states I just mentioned, which, by the way, if one candidate wins all of those states, they will win the election. In every single one of those states, Trump's line is going down and Biden's line is going up. And yes, as it stands right now, according to some polls, Trump's number is a little ahead of Biden's. But Biden is still on an upward trajectory and Trump is on a downward trajectory. According to the aggregates, taking all the polls together, this is what everything says when you lump it all into one. So yes, things are getting very bad for Donald Trump. And as I said, part of the big reason for that is because 100% of the media focus is on Trump right now. You know, Biden is going around on the Democratic side. He is doing speeches. He's done some good things in D.C. He's done some bad things in D.C. So, you know, he's a little iffy. And I think if he hadn't done the bad things, specifically signing the TikTok ban, probably would be polling even further ahead of Donald Trump right now. But that was a huge, huge blunder by him. But nevertheless, his numbers are going up. When you look at the national polls, you know, head-to-head matchup, not just in the swing states, but overall, Biden is ahead of Trump in at least 10 different polls right now. Trump keeps going down. Biden keeps going up. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is out there sucking more votes away from Trump than he is from Biden. Trump is in trouble. Not to mention the fact that you had a Democrat unseat a Republican in Michigan this week in the Tuesday primary by 20 points. The Republican incumbent lost by 20 points. You had a Democrat win in deeply red conservative Huntsville, Alabama just a couple weeks ago. You had a progressive Bernie Sanders type Democrat win in hugely conservative Jacksonville, Florida last year. Democrats are winning special elections in areas where they shouldn't be winning. And that to me is the most telling part. That's why I think that these poll numbers that show, oh, it's a head-to-head matchup between Trump and Biden, who's going to win? I don't buy it. I genuinely don't. And trust me, I am somebody who studied how to conduct polls, how to know if polls are reliable, how you're supposed to do polls. So, look, I get it, okay? I know how polls work, and I'm telling you, these are not reliable. I think they are way off, and I think they're way skewed in favor of Donald Trump. And I think that once we see the actual election results, we're going to realize how wildly off these polls were, just like they were in 2020 and they were in 2016. But it is what it is. We have to go by the polls right now. We're less than 6 months away from the election. But Trump is on a downward spiral. Biden's on an upward trajectory. He's got the wind at his back right now. And Trump is struggling to stay in this race. Hey everybody, I don't know if you've noticed this, but we are closing in on a pretty major milestone here at Fair and Balanced as we approach 500,000 subscribers. But we're not there yet, and we definitely need your support. So if you're not already, please do subscribe to the channel, and don't forget, like and comment on the videos and share them as widely as possible.